Every time she demands to be called the Duchess of Sussex, a large portion of the British public starts laughing. It has become a reflex, a national inside joke, but nobody is laughing harder right now than Piers Morgan. January 2026 has brought us a moment that many predicted, but few were truly prepared for. Meghan Markle has finally released her highly anticipated Netflix cooking and lifestyle show, a project designed to launch her as the new American domestic goddess. It was supposed to be her crowning achievement, the moment she finally eclipsed Martha Stewart and proved her billion-dollar worth to the streaming giant. But instead of applause, she ran straight into a wall. And that wall's name is Piers Morgan. The man who lost his entire Good Morning Britain career for refusing to back down on his criticism of Meghan is back. And this time, he isn't just throwing jabs on Twitter or making snide comments in a newspaper column. He has gone nuclear on live television. Piers sat down to watch the premiere of Meghan's show, allegedly titled With Love, Meghan. And he didn't just dislike it, he dismantled it. He tore it apart piece by piece, frame by frame, with a level of forensic brutality that left nothing standing. He called it unwatchable. He called it the ultimate vanity project. But he didn't stop at general insults. Piers brought receipts. He exposed the staged photos, the fake locations, the calculated candid moments, and the overwhelming narcissism that drips from every single scene. And here is why this matters. Piers isn't just a random critic throwing shade. He is a man who knew Meghan personally. He has dined with her, he has laughed with her, and he was ghosted by her the moment she found a prince. He knows her playbook better than anyone on earth. So, when Piers Morgan looks into the camera and tells you that this show is a fraud, he is speaking from experience. Buckle up, because the takedown you are about to hear exposes the one thing Meghan Markle has spent 5 years trying to hide: who she really is when the script runs out. Let's start with the visual lie that anchors the entire show. When you tune into a cooking show or a lifestyle vlog, the selling point is intimacy. You are being invited into someone's private sanctuary. You are seeing where they live, how they eat, and how they relax. Meghan's show is filmed in a breathtaking Montecito estate, high ceilings, rustic stone, perfect lighting, a kitchen that looks like it costs more than most people's lifetime earnings. It is presented as the beating heart of the Sussex world. Except, as Piers Morgan ruthlessly pointed out, it isn't her house. It has been widely reported and seized upon by Piers that the entire production was filmed in a borrowed estate, a rental property secured specifically for the shoot. Now, on the surface, this might seem like a standard production choice, but Piers dug deeper. He pointed out the hypocrisy of a woman whose entire brand is authenticity, feeling the need to upgrade her own reality. Is her actual $14 million mansion not good enough? Is it too messy? Or is it that her real life simply doesn't match the billionaire aesthetic she is desperately trying to sell? Piers looked at the footage of Meghan standing in this rented kitchen, acting like she has cooked there for years, and he called it out for what it is, a performance. It is a set. She is an actress playing the role of a domestic goddess in a house she doesn't own, using equipment she likely doesn't know how to use. It screams fake. And once you know it's a set, the illusion breaks. You aren't watching a woman sharing her life. You are watching a woman filming a commercial for a life she wishes she had. Piers noted the sterility of it. There are no magnets on the fridge, no mail on the counter, no signs of life. It is a showroom, and she is just the model hired to stand in it. So, what exactly happens in this show that made Piers Morgan, a man who watches trash TV for a living, turn it off after less than 10 minutes? According to his review on Piers Morgan Uncensored, the content is so mind-numbingly vacuous that it physically hurts to watch. He described a scene where Meghan teaches the audience how to make coffee. Coffee. Not a complex espresso martini, not a rare brew technique using beans from the mountains of Peru, just coffee. She treats the camera like it's a toddler, explaining the process with a breathless sense of wonder, as if she has just discovered the bean herself. Piers mocked this relentlessly. That's what Meghan is teaching people? He laughed. She's presenting it like she's revolutionizing hospitality. He questioned who the audience is for this. Does she think regular people don't know how to brew a pot of coffee? It revealed a disconnect that Piers jumped on. She thinks everything she does is fascinating simply because she is doing it. Then there are the flower arranging segments. Photos from the show see Meghan delicately placing white roses into a vase, looking pensively at the stems, treating a basic household chore like it is high art. Piers pointed out the sheer arrogance of it. It's not about the flowers, it's not about the technique, it's about the camera capturing Meghan looking beautiful while holding flowers. This is the core of Piers's critique. The show has no substance. It isn't educational, it isn't entertaining, it is a vanity project in the purest sense of the word. The entire runtime is dedicated to shots of Meghan laughing, Meghan smiling, Meghan looking thoughtful, Meghan being praised by guests. Piers noted that he couldn't make it past the 10-minute mark because the level of self-worship was suffocating. It wasn't a show about food, it was a church service, and Meghan was the deity. But amidst the boredom and the fake kitchen, there was one moment that made Piers Morgan sit up in his chair. It was a moment so revealing, so cringe-inducing, that it may go down in history as the definitive Meghan Markle clip. During a segment with her friend, the comedic actress Mindy Kaling, the conversation is flowing naturally. Mindy, trying to be funny and relatable, makes a harmless comment. She says something along the lines of, "People wouldn't believe that Meghan Markle ate a Jack in the Box." It's a throwaway line, using the name the entire world knows her by. And then, the temperature in the room drops. Meghan immediately corrects her. She doesn't laugh it off. She doesn't nod. She cuts in and says, "It's so funny you keep saying Meghan Markle. You know, I'm Sussex now. Sussex. Not Meghan, Sussex." Piers Morgan absolutely destroyed this moment on his show. The level of delusion required to demand your Hollywood friend call you by the name of a British county, a county you haven't visited in years, in a country you left because you hated the institution is off the charts. Piers reminded his audience, "I come from Sussex in England. It's a place. It has several million people living in it." This is the hypocrisy that drives Piers mad. Meghan and Harry walked away from royal duties. They said they wanted to be just Harry and just Meghan. They claimed the titles were a burden. Yet, the moment a camera is rolling, she snaps at a friend for not using her title. She needs that title. Without it, as Piers brutally noted, she is just a retired actress with a cooking show. That moment captured the entire fraud of the post-royal life. They hate the monarchy, but they are addicted to the status it provides. Piers didn't just focus on Meghan, he saved a special kind of pity for Prince Harry. In the few clips where Harry appears, Piers described him as looking like a hostage in his own life. Harry isn't presented as a partner or a co-host. He is a prop. There is a scene where Harry comes in to taste test something Meghan has made. He enters, he eats, he nods, and he leaves. Piers pointed out the humiliation of this dynamic. Here is a man who was once a war hero, a man who stood on the balcony of Buckingham Palace, a man who was the most popular royal in the world, and now he is an extra in his wife's YouTube-style vlog. He is there to validate her, to look at her with adoration, and then to get out of the frame so the camera can focus back on her. Piers argued that Harry's presence in the show actually makes it sadder. It highlights just how far he has fallen. He has traded his military titles and his royal duties for the job of assistant to the influencer. Piers noted that Harry's smile never quite reaches his eyes, suggesting that even he realizes how farcical the situation has become. He dragged him out of the bosom of his family to be a taste tester in a rented kitchen. To understand why Piers Morgan's attacks land so hard and why he refuses to let this go, you have to understand the history. This isn't a random feud, this is personal. And on his show, Piers reminded the world why he has such a specific insight into Meghan's character. It goes back to 2016. Meghan was just an actress on Suits, a cable show that most people in the UK had never heard of. She was looking to raise her profile. She followed Piers on Twitter. She sent him a direct message saying she was a big fan. They started chatting. They messaged back and forth about politics, media, and life. It seemed like a genuine connection. Then she came to London. She messaged Piers, and they met at a local pub in Kensington, the Scarsdale Arms. Piers describes the night vividly. They spent 2 hours drinking dirty martinis and pints of bitter. They laughed. They gossiped. They got on, in his words, brilliantly. It wasn't a media interview. It was two people hanging out. Piers felt he had met a woman who was smart, funny, and grounded. But here is the twist. At the end of the night, Piers put Meghan in a black cab. He thought he had made a new friend. He didn't know that the cab was taking her directly to a private members club where she was meeting Prince Harry for the first time. The next day, Piers texted her. No reply. He texted again a few days later. Silence. Meghan Markle ghosted him completely. She never spoke to him again. The moment she secured the prince, the journalist was no longer useful. He was a rung on the ladder she had just climbed past. Piers has always been open about how much this hurt and offended him. I really liked her, he admitted, but she is a social climber. She used me to get press, and when she got Harry, she dumped me. This backstory is crucial. It means Piers knows exactly how she operates. He has seen the charm offensive up close. He has seen how she makes you feel special right before she discards you. So when he sees her doing the same thing to the audience on Netflix, charming them, pretending to be their best friend, he knows it's a performance. He knows that the moment the audience stops being useful, she will ghost them too. The credibility of Piers Morgan also comes from the fact that he has sacrificed everything to hold his position. We cannot forget the events of March 2021. After the Oprah interview, where Meghan claimed the royals were racist and that she was denied help for S-word thoughts, the world was afraid to question her. To question Meghan was to be labeled a racist or a bully. Piers went on Good Morning Britain, the highest-rated morning show in the UK, and said 5 words that ended his career at ITV. I don't believe a word she says. He said he wouldn't believe her if she read him a weather report. The backlash was instantaneous. 58,000 complaints flooded the network. Meghan Markle herself filed a formal complaint to the CEO of ITV. The pressure on Piers to apologize was immense. His co-host, Alex Beresford, confronted him on air, accusing him of trashing Meghan because she ghosted him. Piers famously stormed off the set. Later that day, the executives gave him a choice: apologize to Meghan Markle or leave the show. Piers Morgan, a man who loves being on TV more than anything, chose to leave. He walked away from a multi-million-pound contract rather than apologize for doubting her. And guess what? He was vindicated. Ofcom, the UK media regulator, eventually ruled that Piers had the right to his opinion and that silencing him would be an infringement on free speech. Furthermore, many of Meghan's claims in that interview have since been debunked or questioned: the secret wedding, the passport removal. Piers paid the ultimate career price to tell the truth. So when he critiques her cooking show, he isn't doing it for clicks. He's doing it as a man who has already put his money where his mouth is. Let's go back to the Netflix show and the specific photos Piers mocked. The promotional images released by Netflix were designed to look like candid snapshots of a happy domestic life. But Piers, with his editor's eye, exposed the artifice. Look closely at the lighting. In every shot, Meghan is lit to perfection. There are no shadows under her eyes. The sun hits her hair at the exact golden hour angle. This isn't a woman cooking dinner for her kids. This is a woman on a Vogue cover shoot holding a spatula. Piers pointed out the styling. Her clothes are immaculate. Who cooks in a structured linen shirt and thousands of dollars worth of jewelry? Who arranges flowers while wearing a designer dress that costs more than a car? Real cooking is messy. It involves flour on your apron, hair tied back in a messy bun, and sweat on your brow. Meghan's show is devoid of mess. And because it is devoid of mess, it is devoid of soul. Piers argued that this is why the show is unwatchable. Humans connect with vulnerability. We connect with mistakes. When Julia Child dropped a chicken, we loved her for it. When Gordon Ramsay screams, we believe him. But Meghan is a porcelain doll in a fake house, terrified that if she cracks a smile that isn't rehearsed, the mask will fall off. It is sterile, it is cold, and as Piers noted, it is boring. Just to prove how petty and calculated this entire saga has become, we have to touch on the jam incident that Piers referenced during his rant. While Piers was tearing apart the show, he also noted Meghan's recent PR stunts. When she launched her American Riviera Orchard brand, she sent numbered jars of strawberry jam to 50 celebrity friends. One of the recipients, Alex Beresford, the weatherman who fought with Piers on GMB. Piers found this hilarious and pathetic. Meghan didn't send jam to Alex because they are best friends. She sent it to him to troll Piers. It was a calculated move to reward the man who attacked her enemy. It shows that even while she claims to be living her best life in California, she is still obsessed with the score settling in London. She is still playing games with the British press. Piers used this to highlight her hypocrisy. She talks about kindness, he said. She talks about moving on. But she is sending jam to my old co-host just to get a reaction. It proves that the compassionate Duchess is actually a street fighter who holds grudges forever. Just like she ghosted Piers, she rewards those who serve her narrative. It's transactional. Piers also took aim at the guests on the show. Throughout the series, various celebrities and friends dropped by to taste the food and praise Meghan. But Piers noted a distinct lack of genuine warmth. He pointed out that these aren't childhood friends, they aren't family members, since she has cut almost all of them off. These are industry contacts. They are agents, fellow actors, or people who share the same PR firm. The conversations feel scripted. They feel like networking events disguised as lunch. Piers contrasted this with true hospitality. When you have friends over, you talk over each other, you make bad jokes, you relax. In Meghan's show, everyone is sitting up straight, delivering compliments on cue. Oh, Meghan, this is delicious. Oh, Meghan, you are so talented. It is an echo chamber. Piers called it a cult of personality. She hasn't invited people over to feed them. She has invited them over to feed her ego. Finally, Piers touched on the business reality of this disaster. Netflix paid Harry and Meghan a reported $100 million. For that money, they expected hits. They expected global phenomenons like The Crown. Instead, they got a documentary about how hard their lives are. And now, a cooking show that Piers Morgan couldn't watch for 10 minutes. Piers predicted that this show will be the final nail in the coffin for their media empire. If the show flops, and based on his review, it deserves to, Netflix will have no reason to renew their contract. The cooking show was the safe bet. It is easy to make, usually popular, and hard to mess up. If Meghan has managed to make a cooking show unwatchable through her own vanity, she has proven that she is unmarketable. Piers seemed to take a grim satisfaction in this. He knows that in Hollywood, you are only as good as your last hit. And if your last hit was a borrowed house and a boring cup of coffee, the phone stops ringing. So, where does this leave us? Meghan Markle has released her show. She has put her best, most polished foot forward. She has hired the best crews, rented the best house, and styled the perfect life. But she cannot escape the shadow of Piers Morgan. He has positioned himself as the permanent thorn in her side. Every time she releases a project, he will be there to review it. And because he is now on YouTube with Piers Morgan Uncensored, he has no executives to tell him to tone it down. He has total freedom. Piers' verdict on the Netflix show, that it is a vanity project indistinguishable from a perfume commercial, is damaging because it rings true. The 10-minute watch time isn't just an insult. It's a warning to the audience. He is saying, I tried, and it was empty. Meghan can dismiss the trolls, she can dismiss the bots, but she cannot dismiss the man who sat across from her in a pub, looked her in the eye, and thought she was real, only to find out she was just playing a role. Piers Morgan has seen the script. He knows the ending. And as long as Meghan keeps trying to sell a fake version of herself to the world, Piers will be there to remind everyone that the Emperor, or in this case, the Duchess, has no clothes. The cooking show might be called With Love Meghan, but after Piers Morgan's review, it will likely be remembered as The Truman Show, a completely constructed reality starring a woman who has forgotten how to be real. And Piers, he's just sitting back, watching the ratings drop, and laughing all the way to the bank.